Just 5 races remain in the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, and for the second time this season, the Winston Cup Series drivers head to the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia for the NAPA Autocare 500. The championship picture is winding down to an end here in the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, and it's getting oh so dramatic between Keegan Thompson and Trey Barto as the two continue to trade blows at each other, looking to try and get this championship. Barto in his final season, Thompson in his first season. They're right now battling it out. 78 points separate them, with Thompson with the upper hand over Barto after Thompson had an impressive run at Darlington after Barto failed inspection at Darlington, had to start at the rear of the field and somehow fought his way up to get inside the top 15 by the end of the race. However, Thompson was able to extend the points lead in that number 5 car. 78 points now over Trey Barto. Can he try and keep that and extend it more, or will it close in? Can Barto do a good enough job here at the start of the race? Well, in front of that all, and drivers that don't care about anything in terms of the points, some drivers towards the front. Jacob Boyd for the Wood brothers starts on pole here at Martinsville, and who's outside? Justin Seidel has been on a hot streak as of late in the 24 car, is third in points. He is over a full race back of the points lead, but if he can continue to close in and Thompson and Barto don't have the best days, Justin Seidel could be right there in the thick of it after Martinsville. Jay Brando gets a top 3 starting spot for Bill Davis Racing. A really good run there, and just behind the second row, you have Logan Williams and Nolan Lawrence, two smaller teams. Obviously, Williams driving for single car Brett Bodine Racing, and Nolan Lawrence driving for the 2-car Haas Carter Motorsport organization. They start on row number 3 here today at Martinsville. A really good run for both those drivers. We'll see if they can keep the track position, keep it up at the front. Keegan Thompson, the points leader, starts in 4th, and Trey Barto will start in the 12th position in the 3-car. It is a beautiful day for racing here at the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. 70 degrees is the air temperature here at Martinsville. It is a cloudy day, so the fans will have some nice shade, get out of that scorching hot sun, which we've had the past few weeks at these racetracks. There is a bit of wind blowing in the northeast direction at 3 miles an hour, and there is a slight chance of rain here today, one of the highest chances we've had of this season. We've been very fortunate this season not have big chance of rain. This is the biggest chance we've had this season, but it's looking more and more likely we get all 100 laps in here at Martinsville. In terms of the championship battle, Keegan Thompson obviously with the upper hand and starting spot here. Both drivers will start on the outside row. 4th place for Thompson, 12th place for Barto. We'll see what they can do in the fight for that championship. Who can try and get down to the inside as quickly as possible, and will we get some yellow flags to shake it up during the race here at Martinsville? It's a half-mile oval, so you never know what could happen at a place like Martinsville. Some track facts. Obviously, the Martinsville Speedway, located in Martinsville, Virginia, 0.526 miles in length, the shortest track on the Winston Cup Series schedule. The banking here, obviously 12 degrees in the corners. It looks like it's a lot less than that when you're looking. The drivers would definitely say it's a lot less, but there is 12 degrees of banking in the corners. No banking on the straightaways. 1947 when the track opened and first debuted on the Winston Cup Series in 1981. The past 5 winners here at Martinsville: Adam Mihal did it for Petty Enterprises back in 1995, Isaac Nichols in 1996, Trey Rainey in 1997, Trey Barto in this race in 1998, and Trey Rainey again won this race last season in 1999, finished runner-up in the championship after winning that race. It's a 100-lap race here at Martinsville. That's 52.6 miles, and the field window anywhere from 60 to 70 laps, so they can go well past the midpoint. We'll see who wants to try and do the undercut, get the tire sooner, get out of traffic sooner, who wants to try and overcut, hope for a yellow comes out, trap people 1, 2, 3 laps down because of that. It's going to be an exciting race here in the NAPA Autocare 500 at Martinsville. Let's get going. Let's go on trackside to fire these 42 engines up.
Drivers, start your engines.
The cars rolling off the starting grid here at the Martinsville Speedway as the pack makes its way through the season. Big names at the back: Luke Rennie, Caden Lynn, Colin Teague. Teague, the one that failed post-qualifying inspection. But let's look at the man starting back a little bit just outside the top 10 to 14th. That's Brett Seaver. Won this race earlier in the season, looking for the Martinsville sweep. He came from further back in the field to do it earlier in the season. Let's see what he can do here from 14th here in the NAPA Autocare 500. Pace cars in. Jacob Boyd, Justin Seidel are the front row for the NAPA Autocare 500. green flag in the air. We're racing at Martinsville. Oh, 4-1, around they'll go in the back. Mitchell Collins got sandwiched, and we're spinning down the backstretch. Eli Bright get by Noah Clifton. So far, everyone keeps it going straight again. Collins with damage. He tries to get into pit road. Oh, and he hits with Yepez. Now he's in the wall with Ryan Wilson. The yellow flag is out at Martinsville on lap number 2. Everyone now having to slow down. They had taken the yellow flag, but a big mix-up early on, and this really helps the drivers that were maybe going to get caught on the outside. Keegan Thompson, Trey Barto, they're now down the inside. Thompson scored in 5th, Barto scored in 10th, so Barto actually made spots up on that start, even though he was on the outside lane. Very interesting there, but now everyone will be on the inside lane for this restart. They'll sort this 3 wide out. Looks like they'll do just that. So, lap number 1, already yellow flag out at Martinsville, and already we're going to have some cars out. Ryan Wilson, Yepez got damaged, Mitchell Collins, Eli Bright, Noah Clifton. Collins, the worst of it, he's done in the 12 car, but yellow flag for the first time here at Martinsville. It's been a crazy start. Let's go see what happened. This incident starts back at the entrance of turns 1 and 2. Riley Sprose washing up the track in the 28. Harrison Reed's going to try and fill the hole through the middle, not knowing that they're really 4 wide going through 1 and 2. Hernandez, the one, tries to back out and give Riley Sprose room, but gets a run off the course. Sprose gives him room. Reed and gets pinched by Collins and Sprotube. The number 12 of Collins goes around, and right here, looking to see if the yellow ever came out. See Eli Bright get hit by Keyshawn Richardson right there into Harrison Reed. Clifton nowhere to go, hits off of the 8 as well. The yellow had come out at that point. Now everyone's trying to take evasive action. Yepez and others going to go down towards the apron to try and get by. Mitchell Collins has damage. He wants to get to pit road right now as quickly as possible. He tries to cut down the 4 of Yepez's there, trying to get back up onto the racing surface. They collide, and Collins drives himself into the blunt end of that concrete wall. Ryan Wilson, the 44, also hits off the 12 of Mitchell Collins. So in all, about half a dozen race cars get collected in this, the first accident of the day here at Martinsville. Just one big mess through turns 1 and 2 and ends poorly. Mitchell Collins getting the worst of it. Eli Bright getting some of it. Harrison Reed, Noah Clifton, and then Ryan Wilson, Diego Yepez all collected in what was a multiple car incident down the back into turn number 3 here at the Martinsville Speedway in the NAPA Autocare 500. Back around to the yellow in front, pole sitter Jacob Boyd leads early on in the NAPA Autocare 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. Coming back going here at Martinsville, cleaning up the first incident of the day, Jacob Boyd the lead in the 21. Ryan Wilson, Noah Clifton, Mitchell Collins all take their cars to the garage. They are done for the day. We have 39 cars left running. James Stewart Jr. came down pit road with an issue on the 71. He'll restart back in the 39th position. Boyd, Rando, Zidell are the front 3. Keegan Thompson, the points there in 5th. Trey Barto, 2nd in points, is 10th. Green flag back in the air at Martinsville. Boyd, a nice jump in the 21, trying to get away from the rest of the field. Rando looking for a run off turn 2. Already Jericho looking low, and Jordan Stout. Front few getaway, single foul. Logan Williams in 4th. A good run for him so far. Keegan Thompson in 5th. Jericho clears for 6th off Jordan Stout. Stout now back to 7th. Lawrence is 8th. Evans with teammate Barto. They're 9th and 10th. Nathan Strickland currently holding steady in 11th as we got some more battles back there. Brett Sierra fading back in the 25. Obviously mentioned one here earlier in the season, but just faded the spot back behind Jack Haas. Back to 15th. Now looking for 14th. On Jack Haas, gets right back to the inside, gets the acceleration, and the 25 is back through to P14 right off of Jack Haas. So he lost it, but he gets it right back in that 25 car. Cameron Evans with a peak for 8th place here into turns 3 and 4. Gets to the inside of Haas Car Motorsports, Nolan Lawrence, and Evans moves through to 8th. Barto now going to look for 9th here in the 3 car, trying to follow his teammate up through the pack because he knows it's hard to make passes at a track like Martinsville. He just get them whenever he can. Whenever the opportunity arises, Barto has to pounce in the 3 car. As well, shuffled out of line back there by Roger Ray. Goes up towards the front, battle for 4th. Logan Williams has it. Keegan Thompson, the points leader, with a faster car, a better car overall, wants it. But Thompson might be starting to drive too hard, and Chris Jericho could look to take advantage of that 18 car if the opportunity arises back there. Hernandez and Sierra getting some contact right there. Hernandez almost spun out by the 25 as Sierra looks for the spot on Anthony Hernandez. Battle for 13th and 14th here at Martinsville. Hernandez was fastest in practice, so obviously showing that he has some good race pace and didn't have the qualifying speed, but has made his way up steadily up inside the top 15, now trying to pull away from the 25 of Steer. They made some contact last time off turn number 2. Thompson still holding steady behind Logan Williams. The front few still at the same distance apart. Jacob Boyd, Jay Brando, and Justin Seidel. Something to note, though, earlier in the season, Jose Mills says we have a car pulling up. Nathan Baird is blowing up. So mechanical issue for that Joe Bessie Racing car. And a tough break there for one of the smaller teams. Looking at Martinsville as possibly a chance to get a decent performance. But turns out, going to go awry. So tough break for Nathan Baird. But earlier in the season, Jose Mills for Single Car Mate Motorsports got pole and led a lot of the opening laps. Led up until pit stops. When pit stops arose and started to make themselves prevalent in the race, we saw Jose Mills lose the lead because of pit strategy and a slower pit stop. So if you're Jacob Boyd, Jay Randall, and you have a Hendrick Motorsports car behind you, will they have a better strategy? Will they have a faster pit stop? What will Keegan Thompson do with Logan Williams? What will Jericho do? How about Evans? How about Barto? If he can't find a way around Nolan Lawrence, he might have to do it on pit road, but he would hate to have to wait about 50 more laps to have to do that. I mean, we're only on lap number 16 now. Pit stops are not going to happen until at least, another 34, probably even more than that lap. So if you're someone stuck behind a slower car, you really need to find a way around and in a hurry, because you can't be staying behind the slower car. You can see already Nolan Lawrence has lost over a second to Conrad Evans. After the third one got by the 26, he's set sail. He's gotten away. He's running his fastest laps of the race. Meanwhile, Barto and Lawrence are fading back into the clutches of 11th, 12th, 13th, all those drivers. So if Barto can't find a way around this number 26, he'll continue to lose time to his competition. He's now over a second and a half back of 8th place Conrad Evans, his teammate, who was just on the back bumper of before he passed the number 26. So for Barto, he needs to find a way around this 26 in a hurry, because Lawrence, while, doing what he needs to do, he's racing for his own team, not doing any favors for the number 3 of Trey Barto. Second in points, that is. And Thompson still can't find a way around Logan Williams, who just lost a few tenths of one lap to the top 3 right there. Meanwhile, Rando is closing back in on Jacob Boyd, looking for a run back into the back bumper of that 21, and could look for some physical racing right there. So there's the points there, Keegan Thompson. If he can finish at Trey Barto, that's all he has to do, right? He would love to win this race, get another win on the season, but his main goal, just beat the number 3 of Trey Barto and extend the points lead into the final 4 races of the season, because you can never have too big of a points lead in these final 4 races. They can get pretty ugly here late in the season, as Thompson looking for a different lane, trying to maybe get a better run off the corner, make it work. Didn't work for him that time, as Barto under fire for 10th. Anthony Burnett coming up behind him as Jericho comes up behind Keegan Thompson. That's 5th and 6th. Thompson has 5th, has the top 5. Jericho wants it in car number 18. Trying to bury it down near that curb is the number 18 of Jericho. Looking for a way by. Back there, the battle for 10th. Barto's starting to lose ground a little bit to Nolan Lawrence. Can't really stay with them. And Matthew Burnett's gaining in the 16. So for Burnett, that car looks like it's a little bit better than the 3 car at the moment. Might be starting to gain on him. Back here, Hernandez trying to fend off Sears, trying to fend off Jack Haas. Lord Chung Haas's teammate right there. So all 3 Bill Davis cars currently inside the top 20 right there. As Lord Chung in 16th is the lowest of them. Matthews Wells has gained since his starting spot up to 17th. Sprotum is currently in 18th. Jordan Edwards made some nice progress up to 19th. Roger Ray is currently in 20th. How about these 2 cars having some good days? Walker Davis in 21st, Brandon Beal in 22nd. DeLello currently in 23rd, right around where he started. Eli Bright with a dive on attempt on Keyshawn Richardson, his good friend. Eli gets to 24th off of Keyshawn, who's now back to 25th. Hagita moving up from a bad starting spot, looking on Kuplan, also had a bad starting spot. Battle right there for 26th and 27th. Aaron Reed moving by Jose Mills, who started on pole here earlier in the season. Caden Lynn moving up from his bad starting spot. Yepez coming back after having to come down pit road. The 4 car currently moving up through the field, but is 2 laps down because he had to make a green flag pit stop. Colin Teague, after failing inspection, has not had a good race, currently back in 33rd. Luke Rennie started poorly. He's currently back in about 34th and 35th with Luca Iger. There's Bibby Rose, there's Jamie Stammer Jr. And right now, those are the cars on the lap. Nathan Baird, a camshaft, put the 60 out of this race, as we saw about 10 or so laps ago. Logan Williams still fending off Keegan Thompson for now. Thompson able to gap a little bit off of Jericho. Battle here for 7th. Conrad Evans moves to the inside and by Jordan Stout. So Evans up to P7, Stout down to 8th, and while his teammate Trey Barto can't find a way around the slower car of Nolan Lawrence, Evans just passed one of the faster cars, Jordan Stout. So obviously at the moment, the 31 looks pretty stout. The 3 car may be good and better than the 26, maybe even better than the 88, but it's not as good as his teammate Cameron Evans at this point in the race. He's trying to find a way around, a way to get by this number 26, but Lawrence is not making mistakes. That's the issue. If Lawrence were making mistakes, maybe Barto could find a way around, but Barto can't do it. This is a long line of cars back here. You can see how much Lawrence is actually holding these guys up. It's now 2 seconds up to the next guy, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's just a continuous line of cars. No real breaks in the action because of the 26 just isn't as fast as these guys behind. Barto got a nice run that time off turn 2. We'll see if he takes it to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Looks like they went for the bumper there but missed, and now the 3 up the track a little bit. Has to get off the corner well and does, as Hernandez gets moved aside to the 1, as to 13th goes number 25 of Brett Sierra. Sierra to P15 in the number 25 car. Hernandez now back to 14th, another fire from Jack Haas for that 14th spot there. He goes to the inside. 15th. Haas wants that 14th spot from the 1 of Anthony Hernandez. Haas will get to 14th. Can Chung get to 15th? Hernandez is going to try and get down in line right there and will. So Anthony just preserves the top 15th spot in that number 1 car. And Mathis Wells looking on Laura Chung for 16th. Barto still can't find a way around that number 26 of Nolan Lawrence. Meanwhile, Evans is gaining now on the battle for 4th as Logan Williams has lost almost 3 seconds to the guys in front. Thompson and Jericho can't find a way around, and that brings Evans into the mix. So now make it about 4 or 5 cars for that spot. Meanwhile, it's 3 cars for the lead, as they're not going to catch lap traffic. Jamie Stimmer Jr. and Baby Rue is the first two to be caught. These are cars on the tail end of the lead lap. They don't want to go a lap down. They will fight the leaders hard. The question is, how hard will they fight? Who will fight the hardest? And who can find the way around the best if these drivers start fighting really hard? Who can find a way around this lap traffic in the most efficient manner? Jacob Wood hoping he can do it from the lead. Obviously, he's led every lap so far from pole position. But just like Jose Mills did earlier in the season, led a lot of laps, but that doesn't mean you're going to win the race. You have to still finish it out in that top spot. And Boyd, the last thing he wants to see is lap traffic. I think he would rather yellow come out right about now, make it to where everyone can come down here and do their service now and possibly make it to the end from here. I think he's going to hate, especially once you get to some thicker traffic, if they have to do that before pit stops. Obviously, catching them one at a time, that's all right, but when you catch lines of cars, that's where it starts to get interesting. And then they get side-by-side stuff in front of you. That's not what you want to see. Is Caitlin Evan Hunter bound for a spot right here. Linden keeps it off the 36 for now. But now Boyd on the back bumper. Jamie Stewart Jr. has had a rough race weekend. Not been the best Martinsville weekend as Boyd goes up the track. Randall gonna look for a run off the corner on the inside. Boyd able to stay clear for now. Will keep the lead, but the 22 Randall had a shot, and now he's right there in case the 21 messes up again in traffic. He's closer, and he'd be able to get by this time if the 21 makes that same mistake. Boyd now, he has to realize he made a big mistake right there. Just calm down. Don't make that same mistake again. Obviously, it's going to be very frustrating being behind the 71. Might mess up some of your braking zones as once again, this time Randall a little bit worse than the 21 of Boyd. Zidell can't take advantage, though, in the 24 car. And Boyd has got to be loathing being behind the 71. You can see how much it's messing up his braking zones. Randall with a nice run off 4. Might be able to keep the nose to the inside right here. Side by side to 1. Randall on the inside. To the outside for Jacob Boyd. Jay Randall will clear and lead the NAPA Autocare 500 at Martinsville. Randall's now in control of this race. So Boyd able to lead 39 of the 100 laps, but now might fall back to third as Zidell's a nice run for a second here in the 24 car. Side by side for that second spot. Zidell to P2 as Randall now tries to get away and get by this number 71 of Stanworth Jr. That was a really good move for Randall, but now he's caught up behind this number 71, and now Zidell and Boyd will be able to close back in if he can't get by, and then maybe Zidell can move back to the lead. Zidell's had a really good stretch of races, 2 wins in the last few races, and they both came from pole position. This time he didn't get started on pole, but started outside pole, just as close as you can get, and it's worked out well so far. Here he has a run on Rando, but Rando using that middle lane efficiently to keep clear, but they still can't find a way by this number 7. You can see Rando diving in deep. Zidell misses the corner, big time on the 24. Might give a shot for Boyd to get back up to second right here. No, he got to run. Look at Rando. He got to run on Stanworth, though. He's going to say, yep, you move aside. I need to get away. And if he can clear the 71 and the 24 and the 21 can't get by, Rando might be long gone here. We'll see if Zidell and Boyd can find a way around the 71. Because if they can't, Rando can gap both of them. Zidell has a run. He did, yeah, just like Rando did. Dive into the inside. Even if you miss the corner, you can use the guy up. So Zidell will clear in second. Now they have some more traffic ahead, like Ruiz, Iger, Luke Rainey. Yepez already 2 laps down. Kalantiku failed inspection, was set to start in 11th. So obviously we know he has a pretty strong car as well. As Boyd looks to get by this number 71 as well. He's going to lose touch with the front 2. If he can't do it, it looks like he may lose touch with those front 2. So tough break for Jacob Boyd from pole position. Looks like Seymour Jr. earning a lot of his run. Williams still fending off Thompson, Jericho, and Evans, some of the best drivers this season. And Lawrence still fending off a multi-time champion in Trey Barto. And they've lost about 4 seconds now to 8th place. So at the moment, Barto now just trying to hope that he doesn't lose any positions behind, because Seaver's coming through. He just passed Lathan Strickland. So Brett Seaver has shown that he has a pretty strong car as well in that number 25 as Barto still can't find a way right by that number 26 though. In fact, they've lost 4 seconds. Pretty insane. Boyd's still stuck behind Stanworth Jr. Can't find a way by this number 71 Marcus Auto racing car. And he's struggling. He's lost now a 1.5 seconds to second place Zidell. It's a really unfortunate break for Jacob Boyd, whose car looks like it's just kind of gotten a little bit worse here in the long run. Looks like it's a very good short run car. Oh, gets to the back bumper. Stanworth Jr. might actually move him out of the way. Might actually spin him if he's not careful. Boyd getting very aggressive with Stanworth Jr. saying, you have to let me go, bud. I am on the lead lap. You're not. And right here, Jacob Boyd will finally move aside of that number 71. He gets by. Boyd is clear, but has 2.5 seconds to catch the front 2 now. Now they're in traffic, though. They have pretty thick traffic as well. It's multiple cars, not just one. Now, they caught that 71 by himself, but now they have the 9, the 14, the 2, the 4 all stacked together. Is this time probably halfway done with the NAPA Autocare 500? Jacob Boyd led the first 39 laps from pole position. Randall's led ever since then, the 22, but now he has traffic to deal with, and if the same thing happens like it did to Jacob Boyd, Zidell could possibly be the new leader in this race. Now see, Rando did a really good job getting by that number 71 though, so we'll see if he can do the same thing with Ruiz and some of these others. Just try and pick them off one at a time, but this time he's not going to be close enough to make a dive bomb move into turns 3 and 4. It's getting interesting here between now having to fight through lap traffic and who can do it the best, who can, you know, just get through the most efficient way possible. The more they stay behind, the faster the guys behind will gain. Boyd cut off a 10th that last lap because these guys are stuck behind Baby Ruiz in a whole line of cars. It's not just one car, multiple cars in front of the race leaders right here. Another bad thing about that is if these drivers start racing each other very aggressively and they get together, some contact is made, there could be a crash right in front of the leaders, which could cause a heart attack or two. For a way by that number 9 of Baby Ruiz. Has a nice run there off 4. He might be able to get it right here into turn 1. Kind of send it to the inside possibly. No, didn't want to take that risk off Ruiz. Might try to clear off turn 2. Boyd closing back into the 21 car. It's now about 2 seconds. The margin was 2.5 seconds. Just about 3 laps to go, gaining about a 10th or more every lap. And Zidell also still stuck behind Randall for now. Can't find a way by this number 22 car. Needs Randall to make a mistake, it looks like. Randall's car pretty good. As that time, Boyd cut off about 3/10. Gaining big time here. Looking to the inside, getting off turn 4 on Baby Ruiz. That's a nice run. Maybe able to take that one into turn 1. No, still can't. Very shocked about that. 2 more tenths for Boyd to get caught off right there. And we're nearing pit stops. And we could see some undercuts here. If you're Boyd, maybe you pit sooner. I'd honestly want to be pitting sooner if you're the race leaders. But also, if you're further back in the pack, you might as well pit sooner. Get the tires now, as these 4 cars are catching up to that number 71 Stanworth Jr., who held up Boyd for a while and also allowed the lead to be changed. Oh, Thompson misses turns 1 and 2. Jericho's a shot to the inside for P5, but Thompson gets the run off the top and she's able to keep that spot for now, and does off Jericho, but Jericho sends it in deep on the number 5, looking for that top 5 spot. Can't get there. Rando gets by Ruiz, and now Zeidel's to get by Ruiz. So Rando now is a car between he and second place Zeidel. Zeidel's going to look to the inside of turns 3 and 4 right here. Has the nose. Can he make it stick off 4? He can't. And Rando pulls by a car length or more because of that. So difficult in this traffic, but pit stops are coming up for these race leaders, so Ruiz might move out of the way this time. Oh, Zeidel might get too impatient here. You have to watch out. Don't want to make contact off the corner, spin him out, and get yourself involved in something. But Zeidel will send it to the inside of Ruiz, get by that number 9 car, and now Zeidel has traffic as Jericho got by Thompson. Jericho to P5, finally got by Keegan Thompson in that number 5 car. Now he has to try and get by Williams, and then the lap car, Stammer Jr. Now Boyd has to get by Bibi Ruiz as well. Third place Boyd trying to get by. As Rando has Iger looking at, oh, look at Rando, really big mess up of 1 and 2. He's up out of the concrete. Zeidel looks to the inside off turn 2. I don't think he's not there though. Zeidel could not, he was too far back to take advantage. If he was just a car length or 2 closer, that spot is his for the lead. Logan Williams now has his hands full of Chris Jericho. It's a nice run off 4 right here. But we're nearing the pit window. At any moment, leaders will hit the pits. 4 tires, 4 fuel. Who's the first to do it of the front runners is the question. Rando still leading. Zeidel and Boyd, they're still the top 3. Does anyone dare come in sooner? If you're Barto, if you're Seaver, maybe you do. Seaver's up to 11th. He has a pretty strong car. Oh, he might get 10th right here because Barto messed up turns 3 and 4. Yep, that's 10th gone for Barto right here. So the more he stays behind Lawrence, the more he's making mistakes. And now he's going to lose a top 10 spot to Brett Sierra. Sierra is Thompson's teammate. Obviously wants to get by this 3 cars as quickly as possible. Barto might even lose 11th to Matthew Burnett. Now here we go. Pit stop starting. Barto back to the inside of Sierra. But here we go. The leaders came in. Gives Boyd the lead back. But Rando and Zeidel are 2 of the first in. Jericho got by Logan Williams. Barto stays out. Then we have the leaders coming in. Like the 21. The 18. Does anyone stay out near the lap, though? Laura Chung will in the 23. Walker, Davis, and Nagita, they're hoping a yellow comes out to trap these guys a lap or 2 down. He would cycle them out with the lead. Boyd led that last lap, and now Laura Chung is the race leader on the racetrack. She just passed Jacob Boyd right there. Rando leaves in front of Zeidel and actually get the 24 on pit stops. Now Laura Chung left to come down pit road. Will Davis and Nagita do the same? Some contact made with the 22, but Davis gets in. Oh, almost hits that wall. So close there. So now it looks like the field will come in. There's Evans. Jordan Edwards leaving. Laura Chung will get to lead this lap. She crossed the line. There she is. She leads a lap for 5 points. There's Jack Haas, some others. We'll have to go see where Boyd and the others came off pit road. There's Rando. He gapped big time. As now Boyd and Zeidel are going at it for that 2nd spot, what should be 2nd spot. Looks like Zeidel's gonna be able to keep it. Look, all these cars come off pit road. They might have fallen a lap down or more. See where they all cycle out here, but I think there is definitely a big flip on pit road. Look at this as cars come off. I don't know if Barto's on the lead lap or if he's a lap down, but if he's a lap down, very crucial. We'll have to wait for it all to cycle through, but right now Rando's leading by 2 seconds off of Zeidel. Boyd is 3rd still. Jericho's moved up to 4th. Evans has moved up to 5th. Thompson is now 6th, right where it was. Logan Williams down to 7th. 8th place is Jordan Stout. 9th is Jack Haas. 10th is now Nolan Lawrence. Trey Barto in all this has fallen a lap down in 30th. We have a majority of the field 1 lap down, actually. Only 20 cars are on the lead lap. Yepez coming up pit road with his pit stop done. Eli Bright, Luke Rennie going at. There's Jay Rando. Matthew Burnett from him is in 20th place and the last car on the lead lap. Eli Bright, Luke Rennie trying to get back on the lead lap. Yepez is currently now 3 laps down the 4 car as it's Rando leading by 2.5 seconds off of Zeidel. If he doesn't get caught in lap traffic, as actually Zeidel's caught in traffic, to the outside, he goes on Ruiz, and Boyd might be able to try and get up to 2nd here. This could be the turning point in the championship, and this could be the push that puts it over the top for Keegan Thompson. He's still running about where he was, in fact, where he was before pit stop started. He was 6th place. He just got passed by Chris Jericho. He remains in 6th place. He passed Logan Williams, got passed by Conrad Evans. So he lost a spot, but gained a spot, puts him even. Trey Barto was 11th entering pit road. He's now all the way down in 32nd. A net loss of 21 positions for the driver of the 3 puts him in a massive hole now, as we only have 20 cars on the lead lap. That's major. That many cars fell lap down with how congested it was on pit road. A lot of drivers came in around the same time. You would think with how wide the field window, the pit window is, drivers want to come down, spread out. That's not what they did at all. They came in very, very compact and allowed a lot of drivers to fall lap down. Good for some of the leaders. Really, really bad if you're the driver that fell lap down, especially if you're Trey Barto. Obviously, his pit stop slow, and he was also held up a lot in pit road, it looked like. Jacob Boyd led early on, now starting to fall back to Chris Jericho in the 18 car. That's going to be a fight for 3rd and 4th here if Boyd can't stay in front of the 18. Right here, Jericho, I think that 18 car, they may have gotten it even better than it was before pit stops. He's moving up onto the back of the number 21, Jacob Boyd. Trying to find a way around him right here. Seidel has to make up 2.8 seconds to Rando, unless Rando encounters some bad traffic and starts getting past and puts the outside. It's looking like he could win his first ever NASCAR Winston Cup Series race. After starting 3rd, it'd be amazing if Rando could get done for ability this race. They have not won a race this season. Came close to Jack Haas back in Las Vegas. Haven't really been that close since then. Speaking of Haas, he's currently running inside the top 10, up to 10th for the number 93, Laura Chung in 11th. So Bill Davis Racing could end out with 3 cars in the top 11, one of them winning if Rando can close down. Still 25 laps to go, though. This battle for 3rd not going to go away either. Jacob Wood has it. Chris Jericho definitely wants it. And the battle for 5th is Evans versus Thompson. Right now, Logan Williams has 7th place by about a second. A few cars between he and 8th place, Jordan Stout. Nolan Lawrence is up to 9th, so a really good run for him as well. Jack Haas in 10th has a good, about half a straightaway or so to his teammate Laura Chung. Then you have Jordan Edwards, Matt, as well as Brett Sierra. Walker Davis is currently on the lead lap in 15th. Hagita on the lead lap in 16th. Hernandez is currently 17th. Spurgeon 18th. Mitch Corbett 19th. There's Matthew Burnett in 20th. But now Rando starts to catch up to these guys right here. Will Eli, Brent, the others close in? Yeah, so here's the question. Will Rando get held up enough? Are these guys slower than the 8 and the 2 in them? And if they're not, then I don't think Seidel can close in at all. But if these drivers are backing the 22 up to the 8 and the 2, then if Rando gets pushed to the outside, Seidel's chance is right there and wide open. But time is definitely running out. Goes fast here at Martinsville. Now for 3rd, Boyd versus Jericho. Boyd led the first 39 laps in this race from pole position, but got past after getting stuck in that traffic behind Jamie Stammer Jr. Rando got by him. Rando's not looked back since then. And now Boyd has fallen back to 3rd and in the clutches of 4th place Chris Jericho. As Jericho got a shot to the inside right here to turns 3 and 4, but can't find the hole to the inside as Boyd looks to get by Roger Ray. Jericho has to run into turn 1. He'll dive to the inside. A big dive bomb attempt for that 3rd spot. Chris Jericho's to P3 at Martinsville. Boyd now down to 4th in the 21 from pole position. Now can Jericho get by this traffic? Seidel's also in traffic. Colin T, Kukalan, Yepez, Rainey, and Bright. Pit cycle actually helped Luke Rainey out. He was tail end of the lead lap when it started. He's now fallen a lap down, but the big thing is even though he lost a lap, he gained a handful of spots. I think it's over 10 spots Luke Rainey gained on this pit stop after he had a very, very poor qualifying position. Transferred over to the race where he was not having a good run until those pit stops. Evans, Thompson, 5th and 6th. They could be in a battle right here. Next battle all the way back, 7th place Logan Williams, but still has a nice gap to Jordan Stout, who's actually falling back to the number 26 of Lawrence and the number 93 of Jack Haas. They're starting to get caught a little bit by Laura Chung and Edwards and Wells and Sierra, so that could be interesting to watch over the next 17 or so laps. Yeah, this battle for 8th might get pretty interesting here by the end of this race. Nolan Lawrence starting to gain on that number 88 for pit stops. Stout was easily faster than Nolan Lawrence. Now after it, Lawrence looks like he's kind of put into another gear and he's starting to come up there. Thompson got to 5th. He got by Conrad Evans. There he is. Top 5 again for the number 5 of Thompson. And the points there, looking to gain a massive chunk of points over Trey Barto. He will lose some points to Zidell, and Zidell obviously trying to close in to make it within a race, but right now second place for Zidell, 3 seconds off the lead unless a miracle happens. Looks like Trey Barto has this one in hand, but obviously there is still 15 to go, 14th the line. There is traffic in front of Brando, but I don't think he's pushing it too hard to catch them. I think he's just found running right behind them, right behind 20th place Matthew Burnett. Doesn't want to push it too hard, just want to get up involved in something he should be involved in, because the cars behind are not getting it all. Zidell's still losing time in that traffic. Still holding steady in that 7th place, keeping about a second back to Jordan Stout, as right here a pass for 10th puts Laura Chung to P10 off of Nolan Lawrence. So now all 3 Bill Davis Racing cars are in the top 10. 1st, 9th, 10th. A really good run for those 3 cars. Still a good run for Nolan Lawrence. It might not be a top 10, but he's probably going to finish out inside the top 15 if he keeps following positions. If he can hold 11th place, though, that'd still be a really good run for that Haas Car Motorsports car. In fact, both Haas Car Motorsports cars on the lead lap in the top 20. Really good day for both of them so far. Battle right here for 12th, Jordan Edwards versus Mathis Wells. Edwards moved up nicely from his qualifying spot. Wells, the same story there as well. So those 2 drivers started outside the top 20, but here they are battling up inside the top 15, just outside the top 10, with now 11 laps to go at Martinsville. Now can Haas find a way around Jordan Stout to move his car up to 8th. Very hard to get closer. You see Logan Williams struggling against some traffic with Zachary DeLello. Trying to find a way around by him as we have 10 laps to go for the leaders. Now 9 to go for Rando. The gap is increasing up to 3.3 seconds. Jericho has his mirror full of Jacob Boyd, who stayed right behind, and Jericho can't find a way by this number 55 or the 94 in front, so he's not able to get away, but he's trying to keep that gap constant back to 4th place Jacob Boyd. Rando, once again, just kind of right behind these drivers. 20th place Matthew Burnett. Looks like he could be fast enough to keep the lead if he had that track position. But at the moment, Rando not pushing too terribly hard, just wants to finish out behind this number 16, cruise home, and to be his first ever win. Now 7 laps to go at Martinsville. Obviously, Jay Rando, not a name you would have filled in at the beginning of the season as a winner this season, but he's had some explosive runs this season, which have gotten him some good spots, as Lawrence actually got to 10th back by Laura Chung. So that spot still up for grabs around the top 10. But for Jay Rando, he had some good runs earlier this season. He's had some top 5, top 10 runs, top 15 runs, but it's been mostly inconsistent for the driver of the 22. Now he's looking for a NASCAR Winston Cup Series victory. To think if Bill Davis Racing could win, teams like Robert Yates Racing still haven't won this season. Penske Racing has only won at Daytona with Mitchell Collins. There are some bigger teams that have not yet won races this season, and Rando could do it before them. Roush Racing only has a win with Matthew Burnett so far this season. 4 laps to go. Rando 3.5 seconds back to Justin Zidell. Thompson holding steady in 5th. Barto, no progress made, still stuck back in 32nd. And the points picture look a whole lot different, leaving Martinsville. 3 laps to go for Jay Rando. Right now Jericho's still holding off Jacob Boyd for that 3rd spot. Boyd still trying to fend off Keegan Thompson, trying to fend off Conrad Evans. Just a mile left, 2 laps to go for Jay Rando at Martinsville. He's led the most laps today for sure. Got the lead on lap number 40, didn't look back. As he comes around into turns 3 and 4, the white flag is displayed. One more time around Martinsville for Jay Rando. Through 1 and 2. No contest behind. A huge gap. Zidell over 3 seconds back. Into turn 3 and 4. Bill Davis Racing, Jay Rando. They win the NAPA Autocare 500 at Martinsville. What an upset for Bill Davis Racing. Alex Chastain has to be very, very pleased with that one. Brando is the winner here at Martinsville. The NAPA Autocare 500 goes to Jay Brando. Oh my goodness. Never would I have predicted at the beginning of the season Brando would be a NASCAR Winston Cup Series winner. But here he is, doing it at Martinsville, showing that he has the drive to get it done and how much this could help Bill Davis Racing for next season as they look to improve their program to competing for wins all throughout the season. Let's take a look at the finish results here from Martinsville. Jay Brando obviously ends out on top in car number 22, off with the number 24, Justin Zeidel, over 4 seconds back for Zeidel. Still second place finish and still gains a few points on Keegan Thompson. Chris Jericho ends up in third, a really, really good run. He's carried some momentum as of late and keeping that momentum going. Another top 3 finish for Jericho. Fourth place for Jacob Boyd. Led laps early on but faded back and never could recover, but still a really good top 5 for the Wood brothers and a top 5 for Keegan Thompson. Fifth place will extend the points lead by a drastic margin because Trey Barto failed to finish inside the top 30 here today. Conrad Evans ends up in 6th, really good run for him. How about the good runs for Logan Williams, who ends up in 7th? Jack Haas gets Jordan Stout at the end. Haas ends up in 8th. Stout ends up in 9th. And Nolan Lawrence, another good run for Husqvarna Motorsports, 10th place right there. Jordan Edwards gets to 11th at the end. Lordson fades to finish 12th, but still all 3 Bill Davis Racing cars finish inside the top dozen. Mathis Wells at top 15 along with Brett Sierra, and how about Walker Davis at top 15. Higuita ends up in 16th. Hernandez 17th. Spurgeon 18th. Mitch Corbett in 19th. And Matthew Burnett in 20th were the cars to finish on the lead lap here today at Martinsville. Eli Bright, Luke Rainey, Special Kukla on the first few lap down, along with Colin Tukey, who failed inspection. Big Barros didn't start well. Roger Ray on down. And there's Trey Barto, 32nd place for the driver of the 3 car. Big time points loss for Barto. It's down to 37th all lap down. Yepez was 3 laps down and the cars out. Nathan Baird, Noah Clifton, along with Ryan Wilson and the number 12 of Mitchell Collins. All out obviously from crash damage or mechanical issue in the case of Nathan Baird. A crazy race at Martinsville will shake up the points picture drastically as Hendrick Motorsports and Keegan Thompson get on top. Barto now fading back into the clutches of Justin Zeidel, and the final 4 races, can Thompson stay calm and keep this massive points he's accumulated, or will Barto be able to close in these next 4 races? This could be an exciting last stretch of the season to see who can come out on top here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Next race out for the 2nd time this season, we are going to the Lowe's Motor Speedway, this time for the UAW GM Quality 500. So a few laps less than we saw earlier in the season in the World 600, but it'll be just as interesting. Obviously, earlier in the season at Lowe's, we saw a photo finish for the race victory. What will we see this time at Lowe's? Barto barely lost earlier in the season to Brett Sierra. Can he try and repeat that same magic earlier in the season? Hope Keegan Thompson fails. We'll find out next week at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Bill Davis Racing and Jay Brando on winning the NAPA Autocare 500 at Martinsville. Tune in next week as we head to the Lowe's Motor Speedway.